The last person anyone expected to still be inside the mansion was a child. It was past midnight when Vincent Hale returned from another exhausting day. The staff had gone home. Security patrolled outside. He walked in alone, but then a sound. Not footsteps, not whispers. A quiet rustling coming from the kitchen pantry. His hand reached for his phone, ready to call security. Any other night, an intruder in his home meant lawsuits, police, headlines. Tonight, it meant something far worse. He pulled open the pantry door and froze. There, crouched in the corner between expensive olive oil and crystal bowls, was a little girl, skinny, trembling, eyes wide like she'd been caught stealing from heaven itself. In her hands, a hardened piece of garlic bread and a container of cold pasta his staff had thrown away. She wasn't a thief. She wasn't some stranger's kid who wandered in. She was starving. And when the billionaire stepped closer, she whispered the words that shattered him. "Please don't fire my mommy." She didn't know he owned everything. She didn't know her mother scrubbed his floors every night just to keep them fed. His chest tightened. His throat burned. Her mother, his maid, was the only worker who never complained, never asked for raises, never said a word about her life outside those mansion walls. Now he understood why. The girl tried to hide the food behind her back, as if protecting it would protect her mother too. For a long moment, Vincent said nothing. Then he did something that would change all three of their lives forever. But what he discovered about her mother 3 days later? That's when this story becomes impossible to believe. Before we dive into this story, let us know where you are watching from in the comment section and what time is it right there. Then don't forget to subscribe to our channel to support the work we do here. Vincent Hale pushed open the side door at 12:03 a.m. 14 hours at the office. His shoulders hurt. His head throbbed. The mansion lights flickered on automatically. He dropped his keys on the marble counter. Then he heard it, a rustling sound, soft, panicked, coming from the pantry. His hand froze on the counter. Security breach? An employee stealing? His lawyer's voice echoed in his head. Document everything. He moved toward the pantry. The sound stopped, then started again, faster now. He twisted the handle and pulled. A little girl crouched in the corner, maybe 7 years old, knees to her chest, sweater full of holes, shoes falling apart at the toes. Her hands clutched a piece of hardened bread and a container of cold pasta, the kind his staff threw away. She stared at him like he was about to hurt her. Her lips trembled. "Please don't fire my mom." Vincent blinked. His brain couldn't process it fast enough. "Your mom?" She nodded, gripping the food tighter. "She cleans here. She told me to stay in the basement, but she fell asleep and started coughing bad, and I was so hungry." She tried hiding the food behind her back. Too late. "What's her name?" "Carmen. She cleans the rooms you never go into." A sad smile crossed her face. "Mama says we're invisible. That's our job. Make rich people's mess disappear without them feeling bad." Invisible. The word hit him in the chest. "What's your name?" "Sky." Up close, he saw everything. The way her sweater hung loose, the outline of ribs through thin fabric, dark circles under her eyes, how she kept glancing at the door, waiting for punishment. "How long have you been here?" "I came after school. Mama said I could sleep in the basement storage if I stayed quiet. It's warmer than our apartment." The heater broke again. Vincent's jaw tightened. "Did you eat dinner?" She shook her head. His kitchen had hosted celebrity chefs, magazine photo shoots, investors who spent thousands on single meals. Tonight, the only person eating here was a 7-year-old hiding in his pantry with garbage. "I'm sorry I touched the leftovers," Sky whispered. "Please don't tell Mama. She'll think she failed." Something burned in Vincent's throat. "Come with me." Her eyes went wide. "Am I in trouble?" "No," Vincent said. You're the only person in this house who shouldn't be. He held out his hand. After a long moment, she took it. Her fingers were ice cold. They walked through the hallways. Sky's small steps barely made a sound on the polished floors. She said she'd just sit down for 1 minute, Sky said quietly. Then she stopped answering when I talked to her. Vincent's chest tightened. They reached the laundry room. Harsh lights buzzed overhead. Industrial machines lined the walls. Carmen lay curled on the cold tile floor, one arm draped over an overturned basket. Her chest moved in shallow breaths. A damp cloth sat beside her. "Mama!" Sky ran forward, dropping to her knees. "Mama, wake up. Please wake up." Carmen's eyes fluttered open, blurry, unfocused. Then they landed on Vincent. She jolted upright. "Mr. Hale," her voice came out raspy. "Sir, I'm so sorry. Sky wasn't supposed to." A cough cut her off, deep, rattling. She doubled over. Vincent stepped closer. Sweat covered her forehead. Her cheeks burned red. Her hands shook as she reached for the counter. "Don't," he said, steadying her elbow. "You're burning up." Carmen tried pulling away. "I'll finish my shift. Please, don't dock my pay. I just need a minute." "You need a hospital." She shook her head hard. "No, I can't. I can't afford." "I'll pay." "No." Panic flashed in her feverish eyes. "They'll keep me. I'll miss work. If I miss work, I can't pay rent. If I can't pay rent, I own half the building your landlord works for," Vincent said flatly. "You're not losing your home." Carmen stared at him, caught between disbelief and instinct to refuse. "This isn't charity," he added. "You collapsing on my floor is my responsibility." Her shoulders dropped. For 1 second, Vincent saw past the uniform, past the politeness, just an exhausted woman, frightened, stubborn, proud. He pulled out his phone. "Bring the car to the back entrance now, and call my physician. Tell him to meet us at St. Augustine's emergency room." Sky looked between them. "Can I come?" Carmen started to say no, then coughed again. "Yes," Vincent answered. "You're not leaving your mom." Sky's jaw trembled. "Are you mad at her?" "I'm mad at a lot of things," Vincent said. "None of them are her." He helped Carmen to her feet. She leaned on him more than she'd ever admit. As they moved toward the door, something twisted in Vincent's chest. A memory's shadow. A voice from long ago. Warm, patient, kind. He couldn't place it yet, but it followed him into the night as they left the mansion behind. The car pulled up. Rain started falling. Sky climbed in first, then Carmen. Vincent slid in beside them. "St. Augustine's," he told the driver. "Fast." Carmen's head drooped against the window. Her breathing sounded wrong. Sky grabbed her mother's hand. Vincent grabbed his phone and started making calls. This woman worked for him, collapsed in his house, nearly died on his floor, and he hadn't even known her name until tonight. The emergency room smelled like antiseptic and fear. Nurses rushed Carmen onto a gurney, monitors clipped to her finger, blood pressure cuff wrapped around her arm, oxygen tube under her nose. "How long have you had the cough?" "About a week," Carmen admitted. Sky spoke up fast. 3. It's been 3 weeks. She gets dizzy at work. Sometimes she sits down and pretends she dropped something." Carmen winced. "Sky." The doctor frowned. "Any chest pain, fevers, night sweats?" "Yes to all," Sky said, angry and scared. "She wakes up shivering, but she doesn't have a blanket because she puts them all on me." Vincent's eyes sharpened. Carmen stared at the ceiling. "I'm fine," she muttered. The doctor didn't argue. "We're running tests. Her lungs don't sound good." They wheeled her away. Sky's hand shot out, catching only air where her mother's fingers had been. "Mama." "She'll come back," Vincent said. "They're making sure she can breathe better." Sky turned to him. In her eyes he saw something he recognized too well. Terror. The kind that comes from being small in a system that doesn't care if you disappear. "Are they going to give up if we can't pay?" she whispered. "No." "How do you know?" "Because I'm paying." Her head tilted. "All of it?" "All of it." She stared at him like he'd just bought her the moon. "Nobody ever does that for people like us," she said. The sentence landed in his chest like a stone, because someone had once done that for him. Not with money, with food, with shelter, with hiding him when the world felt like teeth. He'd built a global empire on being self-made, the boy who pulled himself up alone. Every magazine said so, every speech, every investor pitch. Sitting in that plastic chair beside Sky, that story cracked. He hadn't been alone. Someone had fed him when he was starving. Someone had let him sleep somewhere warm. Someone had looked at a dirty, angry 8-year-old and decided he mattered. He couldn't remember her face, but he remembered her voice. Soft, patient, tired, just like Carmen's. "Mr. Hale?" Sky's voice pulled him back. "Vincent," he said. "Just Vincent." "Vincent," she repeated carefully. "Why are you helping us?" He looked at her, really looked at her. 7 years old, hiding in pantries, eating trash, protecting her mother from punishment, just like he used to protect himself. "Because someone helped me once," he said quietly. "And I never got to say, thank you." Sky nodded like that made perfect sense. They sat in silence, waiting. The clock ticked. Machines beeped down the hall. 2 hours later, the doctor returned. "Pneumonia," he said. "Bad. Another night like that and you'd be calling an ambulance instead of a car." Sky's hand clamped around Vincent's fingers. "Can you fix her?" she asked. "That's what we're here for," the doctor said gently. "But she's staying. At least a week. Then strict rest at home. No double shifts. No overnight cleaning. Her lungs won't take it." Vincent nodded. Sky's grip tightened. "Where will I go?" she whispered. Vincent looked down at her. "With me." Carmen was propped up in the hospital bed when they walked in. Oxygen tube under her nose, IV in her arm. Her eyes went wide when she saw Sky holding Vincent's hand. "Mr. Hale, I can't ask you to—" "You didn't ask," Vincent said. "I'm telling you. Sky stays with me until you're out." Carmen shook her head. "That's not appropriate. She can stay with my neighbor." "The neighbor who works nights and leaves her door unlocked?" Vincent asked. Carmen's face fell. "How did you—" "Sky told me in the waiting room," he said, while explaining why she's scared of staying there alone. Sky looked at the floor. Carmen's hands twisted the blanket. "Sir, you don't understand. People will talk. They'll say I'm taking advantage. Let them," Vincent said flatly. "You could lose your reputation. I have lawyers for that. This isn't your problem. You collapsed on my floor," he cut in. "That makes it my problem." Carmen's eyes filled with tears. "I can't owe you this much." Vincent pulled a chair closer to the bed. "You don't owe me anything. I'm the one who owes you." She frowned. "What are you talking about?" He almost told her right there. Instead, he said, "We'll talk when you're breathing easier. For now, Sky needs a place to sleep. I have 17 empty bedrooms. She can pick whichever one she wants." Sky's head snapped up. "Really? Really?" Carmen looked between them. "Sky, baby, you can't just—" "Mama, please," Sky whispered. "I'm scared to be alone." That broke her. Carmen closed her eyes. A tear slipped down her cheek. 1 week. That's all? Then we figure something else out. 1 week, Vincent agreed, knowing it was a lie they both needed right now. The doctor came in with more papers, more instructions. Carmen would start antibiotics tonight. They'd monitor her oxygen levels, keep her hydrated. No visitors except immediate family. Vincent stood to leave. "Mr. Hale," Carmen called softly. He turned. "Thank you," she said. "I don't know why you're doing this, but thank you." He nodded and walked out with Sky. In the elevator, Sky finally spoke. "You're different from other rich people." "How?" "You looked at me," she said simply. "Most people look through us." The elevator doors opened. They walked to the car. Rain had stopped. The city lights reflected off wet pavement. Sky climbed into the back seat. She was asleep before they left the parking lot. Vincent watched her in the rearview mirror. Small, thin, curled against the leather like she was trying to take up less space. His driver glanced at him. "Sir, if you don't mind me asking." "I know what you're going to say," Vincent interrupted. "And no, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I can't do nothing." The driver nodded and drove. Vincent pulled out his phone, texted his assistant. "Clear my schedule for the week. Family emergency." She replied immediately. "You don't have family." He looked at Sky sleeping in the back seat. "I do now." They pulled up to the mansion at 2 a.m. Vincent gently shook Sky awake. "We're home." She blinked, confused. "This isn't home. This is where Mama works." "Tonight it's where you sleep," he said. She followed him inside, clutching a small backpack the hospital gave her. It had a toothbrush and a hospital gown inside. Nothing else. "Are you hungry?" Vincent asked. She nodded. He led her to the kitchen. The massive space felt different now. Less like a showroom. More like a place where someone might actually need food. He opened the fridge, stared at imported cheeses and organic vegetables and meal-prepped containers from his private chef. None of it felt right for a 7-year-old who'd been eating garbage. "What do you like?" he asked. "Anything," she said quickly. Too quickly. He remembered that answer. He'd given it 1,000 times as a kid. Anything meant beggars can't be choosers. He pulled out bread, butter, and cheese. "Ever had grilled cheese?" Her eyes lit up. "Once. At school. It was the best thing I ever ate." He turned on the stove. Melted butter in a pan. The smell filled the kitchen. As he cooked, something nagged at him. A memory trying to surface. "Did your mom ever work anywhere else?" he asked. "Before my house?" "Lots of places," Sky said. "Hotels, offices. She used to volunteer at a church kitchen when I was little, before they closed it down." Vincent's hand froze on the spatula. "A church kitchen?" "On 9th and Monroe," Sky said. She said it was the only job that felt like it mattered. Feeding people who had nothing. 9th and Monroe. Vincent's heart slammed against his ribs. He was 8 years old again. Cold, starving, hiding behind a dumpster. A woman had found him, brought him inside, fed him soup and bread. She'd let him sleep in the storage closet when it got too cold outside. She'd covered for him when the pastor asked questions. She'd told him he wasn't trash. She'd had Carmen's voice, Carmen's eyes, Carmen's hands. "Vincent?" Sky's voice pulled him back. "The sandwich is smoking." He flipped it quickly, plated it, cut it diagonal, handed it to her. She took a bite and closed her eyes. "It's perfect," she whispered. He sat across from her, watching her eat. Could it be? 20 years ago? Same city, same church, same kind woman who broke rules to feed people. His mind raced. He'd never asked her name back then. Too scared, too angry at the world. He'd called her the soup lady in his head. She'd called him kiddo. The memory hit him like lightning. One night, she'd wrapped his hands in bandages because they'd cracked from cold. She'd whispered, "You're not trash, kiddo. You're just lost, and lost things can be found." He'd run away 3 days later when social services came sniffing around. He'd never seen her again, until tonight, in a laundry room, collapsed on his floor. Sky finished her sandwich. "Can I ask you something?" Yeah. Why do you look so sad? He met her eyes. Because I think your mom saved my life once, he said quietly. And I never said thank you. The next morning, Vincent stood outside Carmen's hospital room at 7 a.m., coffee in one hand, a folder in the other. He'd spent all night digging through old records, church donations, volunteer lists, archived news articles about the kitchen closure. Her name was there, Carmen Reyes, volunteer, 2005, 2008, the same years he'd been on the streets. He knocked softly. "Come in," Carmen called, voice stronger today. She was sitting up, color back in her cheeks. The oxygen tube was gone. "You look better," Vincent said. "Antibiotics are magic," she replied. "The doctor says I can leave in 5 days if I behave." He set the coffee on her tray table. "Sky's still asleep. I have someone watching her." Carmen's face softened. "Thank you for letting her stay. I know it's—" "Do you remember a boy?" Vincent interrupted. "About 8 years old? Red hoodie with a broken zipper. Used to hide behind the church kitchen on 9th and Monroe." Carmen's expression changed instantly. "I remember," she whispered. "What else do you remember?" She looked at her hands. He was angry. Wouldn't talk to anyone. Ate like someone might take the food away. I used to sneak him leftovers when the pastor wasn't looking. Vincent's throat tightened. "One time his hands were bleeding from the cold," she continued. "I wrapped them in bandages. He asked if I was going to call the police. I told him no. I told him he wasn't trash." "You said he was just lost," Vincent finished, her head snapped up. "How do you—" "Because I was that boy." Silence crashed between them. Carmen's hand flew to her mouth. "No, that's not— You can't be." "I am." Tears filled her eyes. "They took you away in a van. Social services. I tried to stop them. I begged them to let you stay, but they said I was just a volunteer, not family, not—" "You saved my life," Vincent said. "I lost you," she choked out. "I carried that guilt for 20 years. I thought you died, or worse, I thought—" "I made it," he said firmly. "Because of you." She was crying now, full sobs. "I fed you soup, and told me I mattered. I let you sleep in the closet. You gave me a reason to survive." She shook her head. "I didn't do enough. I should have fought harder. I should have—" Vincent moved to the bedside. "You did everything. When I had nothing, you gave me dignity. That's worth more than every dollar I've ever made." Carmen stared at him, really looked at him. "You built all this," she whispered, "and I've been cleaning your floors." "Because I didn't recognize you either," he said. "But I do now, and I'm not letting you disappear again." She grabbed his hand, squeezed hard. "Vincent," she said his name like a prayer. "Carmen," he said back. And for the first time in 20 years, they were both found. 3 days later, Carmen sat up straighter in bed. The fever was gone. Her breathing was clear. The doctor said she could go home tomorrow. Vincent walked in with his tablet. "We need to talk about your job," he said. Carmen tensed. "Are you firing me?" "I'm promoting you." She blinked. "What?" "House supervisor. Day shifts only. No more overnight cleaning. Salary tripled. Full health insurance. Dental. Vision. Retirement plan." Her mouth opened, closed. "That's ridiculous. It's overdue. The other staff will say it's favoritism." "It is," he said flatly. "I'm favoring the person who kept me alive when I was 8. Carmen shook her head. "I won't be your charity case. You're not. You're my employee, and you're good at what you do. The house runs better when you're there. The staff respects you. This promotion makes sense." "Not this much sense," she argued. Vincent sat down. "Then let me be honest. I built everything on your foundation. Every company, every deal, every success. It all started because you told a starving kid he wasn't garbage. I owe you more than money can measure, but money is what I have. So, take it." Tears gathered in her eyes again. What if I fail? Then you fail as a supervisor instead of as someone scrubbing toilets at midnight. Either way, you're done killing yourself. She was quiet for a long moment. What about Sky? She asked. What about her? Where will we live? Our apartment is too small, too cold, too far from decent schools, Vincent finished. There's a suite on the 3rd floor of the mansion. 2 bedrooms, private entrance. Yours if you want it. Carmen's eyes went wide. We can't live in your house. Why not? Because people like us don't live in places like that. You already do, he pointed out. You've just been sleeping in the basement. She looked away. It's too much. It's not enough, he countered. But it's a start. She twisted the blanket in her hands. What if Sky gets comfortable? What if she forgets where we came from? Then we'll remind her together, Vincent said. I haven't forgotten. I won't let her forget either. Carmen met his eyes. You promise? I promise. She exhaled slowly. One condition. Name it. I still work. Real work. Not pretend work where you pay me to exist. I run that house properly. I earn this. Vincent smiled. Deal? She held out her hand. He shook it. When do I start? She asked. When the doctor says you can breathe without getting dizzy. That's today. That's in 2 weeks, he corrected. Doctor's orders. She glared at him. You talked to him first. I did. That's manipulative. That's strategic, he said. There's a difference. Carmen almost smiled. I forgot how stubborn you were. You made me that way, Vincent said. You told me to fight. I told you to survive. Same thing. She leaned back against the pillows. This is insane. Probably. We're really doing this? We really are. They moved into the 3rd floor suite on a Thursday afternoon. Carmen still moved slowly, catching her breath every few minutes. Sky ran from room to room, eyes huge. Mama, this room has a bathtub. Mama, the bed is bigger than our whole apartment. Mama, the window's actually open. Carmen stood in the doorway, gripping the frame. Vincent watched her face cycle through emotions, gratitude, fear, shame, wonder. This is temporary, she said quietly, until we get back on our feet. It's permanent if you want it to be, Vincent replied. She shook her head. I need to be able to leave. I need to know I can survive without you. Fair enough. That evening, Vincent found Sky in the kitchen. She was staring at the refrigerator like it might disappear. You can open it, he said. She jumped. I wasn't going to take anything. I know. That's the problem. He walked over and opened the fridge himself. See this? All of this is yours too now. You don't have to ask. You don't have to hide. You just eat when you're hungry. Sky's eyes filled with tears. What if I eat too much? The question gutted him. There's no such thing as too much, he said. Not here. Not anymore. She looked up at him. Promise? Promise. She pulled out an apple, held it like it was made of gold, took a small bite. It's sweet, she whispered. Vincent's chest ached. Later that night he heard voices from their suite. He walked closer, not meaning to eavesdrop, but the door was cracked open. Mama, why is he being so nice? Because he's a good man, Cielito. But rich people aren't usually good. You said, so. Silence. I was wrong, Carmen said softly. Some rich people forget where they came from. Vincent remembers. That makes all the difference. Do you think we'll forget? Sky asked. Not if I can help it. What if we get used to this and then it goes away? Carmen's voice cracked. Then, we'll survive. We always do. Vincent stepped away before they could hear him. He went to his office, pulled up his laptop, started drafting documents. Trust fund in Sky's name, education fund, healthcare coverage that couldn't be canceled, legal protections in case anything happened to Carmen. He worked until 3 a.m. His assistant called at 8 a.m. the next morning. The board wants to know when you're coming back. Soon. They're getting nervous. You've never taken this much time off. They'll survive. Vincent, what's going on? He looked out his office window, saw Sky in the garden below chasing butterflies, saw Carmen on a bench watching her daughter with a smile that hadn't been there before. I'm repaying a debt, he said. To who? To the person who made sure I lived long enough to sit in this office. His assistant was quiet for a moment. Is this about that volunteer you mentioned once? From the church kitchen? Yeah. You found her? She found me first, Vincent said. 20 years ago. I just didn't realize it until now. 2 weeks passed. Carmen started her new position. The house staff adjusted quickly. Most were respectful. A few whispered. Vincent fired the ones who whispered. One afternoon, Sky sat at the kitchen table doing homework. Vincent worked on his laptop across from her. Carmen was upstairs organizing linens. Can I ask you something? Sky said suddenly. Vincent looked up. Always. Why don't you have a family? The question landed hard. I do now, he said carefully. I mean a wife. Kids. Normal stuff. He closed his laptop. I was too busy building companies. Didn't make time for normal stuff. That's sad. Maybe? She chewed her pencil. Were you lonely? Yes. Are you still? He looked at her. Really looked. Not anymore. She nodded like that made sense. Mama says you're family now. Is that true? Do you want it to be? I asked first. He smiled. Yes, it's true. Good, she said. Because I told my teacher you're my uncle and I don't want to be a liar. Vincent's throat tightened. Uncle works. Uncle Vincent, she tested the words. Yeah, that sounds right. She went back to her homework. Vincent stared at his laptop screen without seeing it. Uncle. He'd spent 20 years avoiding attachments, avoiding people who might need him, avoiding the vulnerability of caring. Now, a 7-year-old girl called him Uncle, and his whole chest felt warm. That evening, Carmen found him on the balcony. Sky told me what she called you, she said. I hope that's okay. It's more than okay. She stood beside him. But we need to talk about boundaries. Okay. This can't just be about guilt, Carmen said, or debt, or repaying favors. If you're in our lives, you're in for real. Not just when it's convenient. I know. Do you? She turned to face him. Because people like us get abandoned all the time by people who mean well. We can't afford that, especially Sky. I'm not going anywhere. You say that now. I mean it forever. Carmen searched his face. What if this gets hard? What if we fight? What if Sky acts out or I make mistakes or this whole thing gets messy? Then it gets messy, Vincent said simply. Family is messy. I don't know how to do this perfectly, but I know how to stay. Her eyes glistened. You really mean it. I really do. She nodded slowly. Okay, then we're doing this. Doing what exactly? Being a family, she said. The weird cobbled together doesn't make sense on paper kind. Vincent held out his hand. Deal. She shook it, then pulled him into a hug. He froze for a second, then hugged back. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For not forgetting me. Impossible, he said. You're the reason I remember anything good. They stood there as the sun set. Below them, Sky sang off-key while playing with a new toy. For the first time in 20 years, Vincent felt like he belonged somewhere. Not in a boardroom, not at a gala, here, with them, home. It happened on a Tuesday. Vincent was in a board meeting when his phone rang. Carmen's name flashed on the screen. He answered immediately. What's wrong? It's Sky. Carmen's voice shook. She fell at school. They're taking her to the hospital. I can't get there fast enough. I'm coming. Which hospital? St. Augustine's. Vincent, they said she hit her head. I'll meet you there. He hung up, stood. Every executive at the table stared. We're done, Vincent said. Sir, we're in the middle of… I said we're done. He walked out. His assistant chased him to the elevator. What about the merger? The investors fly in tomorrow. Reschedule. They won't. Then they won't, Vincent snapped. My niece is hurt. Nothing else matters. He saw it on her face. The calculation, the surprise, the realization that he meant it. He reached the hospital in 12 minutes, found Carmen in the waiting room, pacing. What happened? Playground, Carmen gasped. She was on the monkey bars. She fell. They said she was unconscious for a few seconds. A doctor appeared. Family of Sky Reyes? They both stepped forward. She has a concussion, the doctor said. Mild, no bleeding. But we want to keep her overnight for observation. Can we see her? Carmen asked. Follow me. Sky lay in a hospital bed, a bandage on her forehead. She looked tiny, pale. Her eyes opened when they walked in. Mama, she whispered. Carmen rushed to her side. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Sky's eyes found Vincent. You came. Of course I came. You were in a meeting. Mama said you had important business. You're more important. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Really? He moved closer. Really? I was scared, she admitted. I thought I was going to die and nobody would care. Carmen made a sound like she'd been stabbed. We care, Vincent said firmly. We will always care. You're not alone anymore. Sky reached for his hand. He took it. Uncle Vincent? Yeah? Don't leave. I won't. She fell asleep, holding both their hands. Carmen looked at him across the bed. You walked out of a merger. Yes. That could cost you millions. I don't care. Vincent, I'm serious, he cut in. I could lose every dollar and it wouldn't matter as much as being here right now. Carmen's face crumpled. How did we get this lucky? Lucky? He almost laughed. Carmen, you saved my life when nobody else would. This isn't luck. This is me finally understanding what actually matters. A nurse came in to check Sky's vitals. She woke briefly, saw them still there, and smiled before drifting off again. Vincent didn't leave the hospital that night. Neither did Carmen. They took turns sleeping in the chair, making sure Sky never woke up alone. At 3 a.m., Carmen whispered, You're really not going anywhere, are you? Vincent looked at Sky. Small. Brave. His. Not a chance. Pause right here. If you're watching this and thinking, this is what real family looks like, subscribe right now and drop me in the comments, and tell us, where are you watching from? Let's see how far this story has reached. Now back to what happens next. Sky came home the next day with a bandage and strict instructions to rest. Vincent carried her upstairs. Carmen fussed over pillows. I'm fine, Sky insisted. It's just a bump. It's a concussion, Carmen corrected. You're resting, Vincent's assistant called while Sky was napping. The investors want answers. They're threatening to pull out. Let them. Vincent, this is a $2 billion deal. I heard you the first time. Then why aren't you? Because I almost lost someone yesterday, he said quietly. And I realized something. I've spent 20 years chasing deals that won't matter when I'm dead. But these two people? They matter now. They matter always. Silence on the other end. Reschedule the meeting, he said. If they can't wait, we don't need them. He hung up. Carmen stood in the doorway. You just killed a $2 billion deal. I paused it, he corrected. For us. For family. She walked into his office, sat across from his desk. We need to talk about something serious. His stomach dropped. You're leaving. What? No. She looked shocked. Why would you think that? Because people always leave when things get complicated. Vincent, she leaned forward. I'm not people. And this isn't complicated. This is real life, which is why we need to talk about guardianship. He blinked. Guardianship? If something happens to me, Carmen said carefully, I need to know Sky won't end up in the system. I need to know she'll be safe. She will be. I'll make sure. I need it in writing. Vincent sat forward. You want me to be her legal guardian? If you're willing. Are you serious right now? Completely. He stared at her. Carmen, I don't know how to be a parent. I barely know how to be a person most days. You showed up at the hospital in 12 minutes, she said. You walked out of a merger. You let her call you uncle. You already know how. His throat burned. What if I mess up? Then you mess up, Carmen said simply. That's what parents do. We try. We fail. We try again. I could ruin her. Or you could save her, Carmen countered. The way someone once saved you. The words hit him like a freight train. I'll call my lawyer, he said. Today? Right now. Carmen exhaled, relief flooding her face. Thank you. Don't thank me, Vincent said. This is the easiest yes I've ever given. 2 weeks later, the papers were ready. Vincent, Carmen, and a lawyer sat at his dining room table. This gives you full legal guardianship if anything happens to Ms. Reyes, the lawyer explained. Medical decisions, financial decisions, everything. Vincent signed without hesitation. Carmen signed next. It's official, the lawyer said. Sky walked in with juice. What's official? Carmen smiled. Vincent is your guardian now, legally, forever. Sky looked at him. Does that mean you're stuck with me? Yeah, Vincent said. I'm stuck with you. She grinned. Good. 3 months passed. Life found a rhythm. Vincent learned to make more than grilled cheese. Carmen ran the household staff with quiet authority. Sky brought home report cards with improving grades. One Thursday, Sky came home from school and dropped a flyer on the kitchen counter. Family art night, she read. Tomorrow. We're supposed to bring our parents, or guardians. She said it casually, but Vincent saw the fear in her eyes. What time? He asked. 6. But you probably have work. I'll be there. Her head snapped up. Really? Really? What about Mama? I'm coming too, Carmen said from the doorway. My shift ends at 5. Sky's smile could have powered the whole house. The next evening, they walked into the elementary school gym. Families filled tables. Kids ran around. Teachers directed traffic. Vincent felt eyes on him immediately. Parents whispering, recognizing him. Sky grabbed his hand tighter. People are staring, she whispered. Let them, he said. They found a table. A teacher brought over construction paper, markers, glue. Create something that represents your family, she instructed. Sky immediately started drawing. Vincent watched, unsure what to do. You have to help, Sky said. I'm not good at art. Neither am I. Do it anyway. Carmen laughed. She sounds like you. Vincent picked up a marker, drew a clumsy house. Sky drew 3 stick figures holding hands. Carmen added flowers around the border. At the top, Sky wrote in careful letters, My family. A woman at the next table leaned over. That's sweet. Are you her grandfather? Vincent froze. He's my uncle, Sky said firmly. And that's my mama. The woman's eyes went to Carmen, then to Vincent, then back to Carmen. Oh, she said with a tight smile. How nice. The judgment was clear. Carmen's jaw tightened. Vincent put down his marker, looked directly at the woman. Is there a problem? No, of course not, she said quickly. Good. He turned back to Sky. What color should the door be? Red, Sky said. Like your old hoodie. The woman moved away. People are going to talk, Carmen said quietly. Let them, Vincent repeated. At the end of the night, the teacher collected the art projects to display in the hallway. Skye held theirs up proudly. "This is us." Vincent looked at the messy drawing. 3 stick figures, a crooked house, flowers that looked like blobs. It was perfect. On the drive home, Skye fell asleep in the back seat. "That woman thought we were a scandal," Carmen said. "We probably are." "Does that bother you?" Vincent glanced at Skye in the rearview mirror. "Not even a little," Carmen smiled. "Good. Because it's going to get worse before it gets better." "How much worse?" "Wait until they find out about the guardianship papers." Vincent laughed, actually laughed. "Let them find out. I'm not hiding her. I'm not hiding you. People can think whatever they want. Even if it damages your reputation." "My reputation was built on a lie anyway," he said. "This is the truth. I'd rather have the truth." Carmen reached over and squeezed his hand. "Thank you for showing up tonight." "I'll show up every night," Vincent said, and he meant it. Vincent walked into the boardroom Monday morning. 12 executives sat around the table. His CFO looked nervous. "We need to discuss the Henderson situation," the CFO began. "What situation?" "He's pulling his investment. Says you've become unreliable. Says you walked out of a meeting for personal reasons." "I did." The room went silent. "Vincent," his CFO said carefully, "that was a $2 billion deal." "I know what it was worth." "Then why? My niece was in the hospital." "Your niece?" One of the board members frowned. "You don't have a niece." "I do now." Whispers erupted around the table. "Since when? Is this some kind of PR stunt?" "Who is she?" Vincent held up his hand. Silence fell. "Her name is Skye," he said. "Her mother is Carmen. Carmen worked as a cleaner in my house. She collapsed from pneumonia. I took them to the hospital. I found out Carmen saved my life 20 years ago when I was homeless. I'm now Skye's legal guardian." Complete silence. "Your guardian to your maid's daughter?" someone finally asked. "Former maid," Vincent corrected. "She's now my house supervisor. And yes, this is a disaster," another board member muttered. "Why?" Vincent challenged. "Because it looks like—" The man caught himself. "Like what?" Vincent pushed. "Say it." No one did. "You think it looks inappropriate," Vincent finished. "You think I'm some rich guy taking advantage. You think this is a scandal waiting to happen. We didn't say that." "You didn't have to." Vincent stood. "Let me be clear. Carmen saved my life when I was 8 years old. She fed me when I was starving. She sheltered me when I had nowhere to go. Everything I've built exists because she decided I was worth saving." He looked around the table. "So, yes, I walked out of a merger when her daughter got hurt. Yes, I signed guardianship papers. Yes, they live in my house. And if any of you have a problem with that, there's the door." No one moved. "Henderson can keep his investment," Vincent continued. "Any investor who thinks my humanity is a liability isn't someone I want in business with anyway." His CFO cleared his throat. "Vincent, we understand the sentiment, but nothing," Vincent cut in. "I've spent 20 years building an empire on the story that I did it alone. That story was a lie. I had help. I had Carmen. And now I'm helping her. If that makes me unreliable, then so be it. The shareholders won't like this. Then they can sell their shares." "Vincent, this meeting is over." He walked out. His assistant caught him in the hallway. "That was either brilliant or career suicide." "Which one do you think?" "Both," she admitted. "Good," he said. "I'm tired of playing it safe." That evening, Carmen met him at the door. "I heard what happened in the board meeting." Vincent loosened his tie. "Who told you?" "Your assistant called. She wanted to make sure I knew you just risked everything defending us." And I don't know whether to kiss you or yell at you." "Why yell?" "Because we're not worth losing your company over." Vincent stepped closer. "Yes, you are." The article dropped 3 days later. Billionaire's secret family. Vincent Hale's unusual living arrangement raises questions. Vincent's assistant brought it to him at breakfast. Skye was eating cereal. Carmen was making coffee. He scanned the headline and closed the tablet. "It's out," he said. Carmen turned around. "What's out?" "The story. Someone leaked it to the press." Her face went pale. "What does it say?" He handed her the tablet. She read silently, her hand starting to shake. "They're making it sound like I'm using you," she whispered. "Like I'm some gold digger who trapped you." "They're making it sound exactly how they want it to sound," Vincent said. "It doesn't matter." "It does matter," Carmen's voice rose. "They're calling me a opportunist. They're saying Skye isn't really your responsibility. They're saying—" She stopped, looking at Skye. Skye had stopped eating. "What are they saying about me?" "Nothing true," Vincent said firmly. "But they're saying something." He couldn't lie to her. "Yes." Skye pushed her bowl away. "I knew this would happen." "Skye," Carmen started. "I knew people would think we're taking advantage," Skye continued. "I told you, Mama. I told you we should have stayed in our apartment." "That apartment had no heat," Vincent said. "So?" Skye's eyes filled with tears. "At least nobody called us names." Carmen pulled Skye into a hug. Vincent's chest felt tight. His phone rang. His publicist. "We need to respond," she said immediately. "No. Vincent, this is getting picked up everywhere. Twitter is going crazy. Your investors are nervous. We need damage control." I said no. "Then what do you want me to do?" "Nothing. Let them talk. That's professional suicide." "Then I'll die professionally," he said, and hung up. Carmen looked at him. "You can't just ignore this. Watch me." "Vincent, this affects all of us. Your business, your reputation." "I don't care about my reputation." "Well, I care about mine," Carmen shouted. "I care that people think I'm some parasite who latched onto a billionaire. I care that Skye has to see this garbage written about her mother." Silence fell. Skye was crying silently into Carmen's shoulder. Vincent stood up. "You're right." Carmen blinked. "What?" "You're right. We need to respond. But not the way they expect." "What are you thinking?" "A press conference," Vincent said. "The three of us. Together. We tell the real story." "They'll twist it," Carmen said. "They're already twisting it. At least this way the truth is out there first." Carmen looked at Skye. "What do you think, baby?" Skye wiped her eyes. "Will it make them stop being mean?" "Maybe not," Vincent admitted. "But it'll make sure they know the truth." "What is the truth?" Skye asked. Vincent knelt beside her chair. "The truth is your mom saved my life. The truth is you both changed everything. The truth is I'm not helping you out of pity. I'm here because you're my family, and family shows up." Skye nodded slowly. "Okay, let's tell them." The press conference was scheduled for Friday. 2 days to prepare. Vincent's publicist tried coaching them. "Keep it brief, stay professional, don't get emotional." Vincent fired her on the spot. "We're telling the truth," he said, "not spinning a story." Friday arrived. The conference room was packed, cameras everywhere, reporters crammed into seats. Vincent walked to the podium. Carmen and Skye sat behind him. "I'm not reading a statement," he began. "I'm just going to tell you what happened." Silence. Cameras clicked. 20 years ago, I was 8 years old and homeless. I slept behind dumpsters. I ate from trash cans. I was invisible. He saw reporters lean forward. "A woman who volunteered at a church kitchen found me. She broke the rules to feed me. She let me sleep somewhere warm. She told me I wasn't garbage. Her name was Carmen Reyes." He gestured behind him. Carmen sat rigid, hands clasped. "I disappeared into the foster system. I never saw her again. until 3 months ago when I found her daughter hiding in my pantry, eating leftovers because they were hungry. Murmurs rippled through the room. Carmen was working as a cleaner in my house. She'd been working overnight shifts for years, sacrificing her health to keep her daughter fed. When I found them, I didn't recognize her. But she recognized me. He paused. Everything I built exists because Carmen decided a starving kid mattered. My companies, my wealth, my success, all of it started with soup and kindness from someone who had nothing to gain. More camera clicks. So, when people ask why Carmen and Sky live in my house, why I'm Sky's legal guardian, why I walked out of billion-dollar deals for them, the answer is simple. I'm repaying a debt I can never fully repay. And I'm doing what Carmen taught me 20 years ago. I'm deciding that people matter more than profit. A reporter raised his hand. Mr. Hale, some people are saying this is a PR stunt. Then they're wrong, Vincent cut in. I'm not asking anyone to believe me. I'm just telling you the truth. Carmen saved my life. Now I'm trying to save hers. He stepped back from the podium. Carmen would like to say something. Carmen stood slowly, walked to the microphone. Her hands shook. I didn't save anyone, she said quietly. I just fed a hungry child. Any decent person would have done the same. But most people didn't, Vincent said from beside her. You did. Carmen's eyes filled with tears. I thought he died. For 20 years I carried that guilt. When I found out he survived, that he became this... She gestured around. It felt impossible. Why did you accept his help? Another reporter asked. Because I was dying, Carmen said simply. And because he gave me a choice. He didn't rescue me. He offered me partnership. Dignity. That's different. Sky stood up suddenly, walked to the microphone. My uncle isn't a hero, she said. He's just family. The room fell completely silent. That's all, Vincent said. Thank you. The internet exploded. Half the comments were supportive. This is beautiful. Real family. We need more billionaires like this. The other half were vicious. Gold digger founder Mark. He's being played. Give it 2 years before she sues him. Vincent deleted his social media apps. Carmen read every comment, every article, every opinion piece. Stop, Vincent said on Sunday morning. You're torturing yourself. They think I'm a con artist. They don't know you. They think I manipulated you. I don't care what they think. Carmen slammed her phone down. Well, I do. I have to live with this. Sky has to live with this. She went to school yesterday and a kid asked if we were going to steal all your money. Vincent's jaw tightened. Who said that? It doesn't matter. It does to me. Vincent, you can't fight the whole world. I can try. She laughed bitterly. You think this is romantic? You think standing up in press conferences fixes anything? People already decided who I am. Nothing you say will change that. Then we prove them wrong. How? By living our lives, Vincent said. By being a family, Sites, by not hiding. I'm tired of fighting, Carmen admitted. I'm tired of justifying my existence in your world. Then don't, he said. Exist anyway. She looked at him with exhausted eyes. What if I can't? The question hung between them. Before Vincent could answer, Sky ran into the kitchen. There's people outside, she said. What people? With cameras. They're on the sidewalk. Vincent looked out the window. A dozen photographers lined the street. Waiting. They've been out there since yesterday, Carmen said. I didn't want to tell you. Vincent pulled out his phone, called his head of security. Clear them out. Sir, they're on public property. We can't force them to leave. Then get the police. They're not breaking any laws. Vincent hung up, turned to Carmen. Pack a bag. What? We're leaving. All of us. Where? Somewhere they can't find us. Somewhere we can just breathe. Carmen shook her head. Running away doesn't solve anything. Neither does staying here while photographers camp outside waiting for us to crack. She hesitated. Please, Vincent said, just for a few days. Let this die down. Carmen looked at Sky. What do you think? I want to go, Sky said immediately. I'm scared of the camera people. That decided it. 2 hours later, they were in Vincent's car heading north. No staff, no security detail, just the three of them. Where are we going? Sky asked from the back seat. I have a cabin upstate, Vincent said. No one knows about it. It's quiet. Do they have internet? Sky asked. No. Good, she said. I hate the internet. Carmen almost smiled. When did you get so smart? I learned from Uncle Vincent, Sky said. He told me sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. Vincent glanced at her in the rearview mirror. I said that last week, when those boys were being mean at school. He'd forgotten that conversation, but Sky remembered. They drove in silence for another hour. Finally, Carmen spoke. Thank you. For what? For getting us out. The cabin sat on 20 acres of forest. No neighbors, no cell service, just trees and silence. Sky ran inside and gasped. It's tiny. Compared to the mansion, everything's tiny, Vincent said. I love it. Carmen walked through slowly. 1 bedroom, a loft, a small kitchen, a fireplace. This is yours? She asked. I bought it years ago, never used it. Why not? I was always too busy working. She ran her hand along the wooden counter. It's peaceful. That night, they cooked dinner together. Pasta from a box, sauce from a jar, nothing fancy. Sky set the table. 3 mismatched plates, 3 forks. They ate by candlelight because Vincent couldn't find the light switch. This is nice, Sky said. Better than the mansion? Vincent asked. Different, she said carefully. The mansion feels like a museum. This feels like a home. Carmen caught his eye across the table. He saw the question there. After dinner, Sky fell asleep in the loft. Carmen and Vincent sat by the fireplace. Can I ask you something? Carmen said. Always. Do you ever regret it? Taking us in? Never. Not even with all the press, the gossip, the board members questioning you? Not even then. She stared into the fire. I ruined your life. You saved it, he corrected. Twice. The first time doesn't count. I didn't know who you'd become. That's exactly why it counts, Vincent said. You helped me when I was nobody. When there was nothing to gain. That's real kindness. Carmen's voice dropped. What if we can't go back? What if this thing between us destroys everything you built? Then I'll build something else. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in 20 years. She turned to face him. Vincent, you can't throw away your empire for us. I'm not throwing it away. I'm choosing what matters. We're not worth... Don't, he interrupted. Don't say you're not worth it. You and Sky are worth more than every dollar I've ever made. Tears spilled down her cheeks. How can you be so sure? Because money bought me houses, cars, respect. But it never bought me what I have right now. What's that? A reason to come home, he said simply. Carmen broke. Really broke, shoulders shaking, face in her hands. Vincent moved to the couch beside her, pulled her into a hug. I'm scared, she sobbed. I'm scared this is too good. I'm scared it'll disappear. It won't. You don't know that. I know that I'm not going anywhere, he said. I know that you and Sky are stuck with me whether you like it or not. She laughed through her tears. You're stubborn. I learned from you. They sat in silence, fire crackling, wind outside. Can I tell you something? Carmen whispered. Anything. When I was 22, feeding you soup in that kitchen, I used to pray someone would save you. I prayed so hard. Someone did, Vincent said. You. No, she said. You saved yourself. I just gave you a starting point. Then let me give Sky hers, he said. Carmen nodded against his chest. Okay, we try this. Really try. Really try, he agreed. They stayed at the cabin for 5 days. No phones, no internet, no photographers. On day 6, Vincent's lawyer called the landline, the only number that worked. We need you back, he said. There's been developments. What kind of developments? The good kind. 3 major investors reached out. They want in specifically because of the press conference. They said your honesty changed their perception. Vincent, hui, looked at Carmen and Sky playing cards at the table. I'll think about it. Vincent, this is huge. The Henderson deal is back on. Bigger than before. They want to meet next week. I said I'll think about it. He hung up. Carmen had heard enough. You should go back. We'll all go back. No, she said. You go first. Make sure it's safe. Make sure the photographers are gone. Then we'll come home. I'm not leaving you here alone. We'll be fine for a few days. Sky looked up from her cards. Go do your business stuff, Uncle Vincent. We'll hold down the fort. He didn't want to leave. But Carmen was right. Someone needed to test the waters. He drove back to the city the next morning. The photographers were gone. The street was quiet. Inside, the mansion felt empty without them. His assistant met him in the office. Welcome back. What did I miss? Besides complete chaos? Not much. She handed him a folder. Letters. Hundreds of them. From people who saw the press conference. He opened one at random. Mr. Hale, I was homeless at 16. Someone helped me like Carmen helped you. Thank you for showing people like us that we matter. He opened another. I'm a single mother working 3 jobs. Your story gave me hope. Thank you. Another. I lost my son to the streets. Seeing you survive makes me believe he might too. Thank you. Vincent's hand shook. There's hundreds more, his assistant said quietly. Maybe thousands. They're still coming. He sat down, overwhelmed. The board called, she continued. They want to apologize. They said they were wrong to question your judgment. Tell them I'll think about accepting. Vincent, I mean it. They don't get to question my family one day and apologize the next just because it became profitable. She nodded. Fair enough. That evening, Vincent called the cabin. Sky answered. How's the city? Quiet without you. Are the mean people gone? Yeah, they're gone. Can we come home? Tomorrow, he said. I'll pick you up tomorrow. Promise? Promise. Carmen took the phone. How bad is it? It's not bad, he said. It's actually good. Really good. Good how? I'll explain when you get here. Just pack up. Come home. Home, she repeated softly. I'm still getting used to that word. Me too, Vincent admitted. The next day he drove back to the cabin, loaded their bags. Sky chattered the whole drive about the deer she saw and the pancakes Carmen made. When they pulled up to the mansion, Sky pressed her face against the window. It looks different. How? Carmen asked. Less scary, Sky said. More like it's actually ours. They walked inside together. The house staff waited in the entrance hall. All of them. Welcome home, they said in unison. Carmen's eyes filled with tears. Sky grinned. Vincent realized something fundamental had shifted. They weren't guests anymore. They were home. Life settled into something that felt almost normal. Carmen ran the household with quiet efficiency. The staff respected her. Some even liked her. Sky's grades improved. She made friends. She stopped flinching at loud noises. Vincent learned to leave work at work. Most days. One Saturday morning, Sky came downstairs with a school project. We have to interview someone successful. she announced. I picked you. Vincent looked up from his coffee. Why me? Because you're the only successful person I know. Carmen laughed from the stove. What about your teacher? She has a doctorate. That's education success, Sky said. I need business success. It's for economics class. Vincent set down his cup. Okay. What do you want to know? Sky pulled out a notebook. Question 1. What's the key to your success? He thought carefully. Remembering where I came from. She wrote that down. Question 2. What's your biggest accomplishment? This, he said, gesturing around the kitchen. Right here. Uncle Vincent, that's not a business accomplishment. It's my most important one. Sky sighed. My teacher's going to think I made this up. Then bring her here, Vincent said. I'll tell her myself. Really? Really. 2 weeks later, Sky's teacher did come, along with half the class. They sat in Vincent's living room, 23rd graders staring at him. Mr. Hale, one boy raised his hand. Are you really a billionaire? Yes. What's it like? Vincent glanced at Sky. Honestly, it's lonely if you do it wrong, but if you do it right, it's just life with more zeros. A girl raised her hand. Is it true Sky's mom used to clean your house? The room went silent. Yes, Vincent said, and she still keeps this house running. She's better at it than anyone I've ever hired. My mom says that's weird, the girl continued. Your mom is entitled to her opinion, Vincent said calmly. But Carmen isn't just my employee, she's family. She saved my life when I was your age. How? Another kid asked. Vincent told them. The whole story. Homeless at 8. The church kitchen. Carmen feeding him. 20 years later. Finding Sky in the pantry. By the end, the teacher was crying. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, she said. On the drive back to school, Sky sat quietly. You okay? Carmen asked from the front seat. Yeah, Sky said. I just realized something. What? Other kids think it's weird that we live with Uncle Vincent, but I think it's weird that their families don't help people. Carmen smiled. That's a good way to look at it. That evening, Vincent got a call from his CFO. The Henderson deal closed. $2.4 billion. Good. That's it? Just good. What else do you want me to say? I don't know. Maybe celebrate? Vincent looked across the room. Sky and Carmen were building a puzzle on the floor, laughing when pieces didn't fit. I am celebrating, Vincent said, just not the way you think. He hung up, walked over to the puzzle. Can I help? Sky handed him a piece. Find where this goes. He sat down on the floor, billionaire in a suit, searching for puzzle pieces with his family. His assistant would have had a heart attack seeing him like this. Vincent didn't care. This was success. This was everything. We're almost at the end, but before we get there, if this story touched your soul, subscribe to this channel and comment where you're watching from and what time it is right there. Let's see our global family. One more chapter left, and trust me, you don't want to miss how this ends. 1 year after finding Sky in the pantry, Vincent stood in his office staring at a document. Carmen walked in without knocking. You wanted to see me? He turned around. Closed the door. She did. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I need to ask you something. Her face tensed. Okay. He handed her the document. Read this. She scanned it. Her eyes widened. Vincent, this is adoption papers, he finished. For Sky. Carmen's hands shook. You want to adopt her? Only if. You'll let me. Why? Because guardianship isn't enough anymore, he said. I don't want to be the person who steps in if something happens to you. I want to be her father, legally, officially, forever. Tears spilled down Carmen's face. You can't just… I'm not taking her from you, Vincent said quickly. You're her mother. Always. But I want to be her father. I want her to have my name. I want her to inherit everything I have. I want the world to know she's mine. Carmen sobbed. She's not yours to claim. You're right, he said. That's why I'm asking permission, not taking it. She looked at the papers, then at him. What if we fight? What if this falls apart? Then we're still family. Families fight. They don't disappear. What if I meet someone else someday? What if I get married? Then Sky will have 3 parents instead of 2. I'm not going anywhere. Carmen wiped her eyes. You really want this? More than anything. Why? Because when I found her in that pantry, eating garbage, I saw myself, Vincent said, and I decided right then that no child who looks at me like that will ever feel unwanted again. She's mine, Carmen. In every way that matters. I just need the paper to prove it. Carmen broke. Completely broke. Vincent pulled her into a hug. Is that a yes? He whispered. It's a yes, she managed, but we tell her together. They found Sky in the library, reading. Sky, we need to talk to you, Carmen said. Sky's face went pale. Am I in trouble? No, Vincent said. The opposite. They sat down. Carmen took a breath. Uncle Vincent wants to adopt you. Sky blinked. What does that mean? It means he becomes your legal father, Carmen explained. You'd be Sky Hale. You'd be his daughter. Forever. Sky looked at Vincent. For real? For real? Would you still be my uncle? I'd be your dad. He said, if you want me to be. Sky was quiet for a long moment. Can I still call you Uncle Vincent? He laughed. You can call me whatever you want. She launched herself at him, arms around his neck, face buried in his shoulder. Yes, she whispered. Yes, yes, yes. Vincent held her tight. Over her head, he met Carmen's eyes. She mouthed, thank you. He mouthed back, thank you. 3 months later, the adoption was final. They stood in a courtroom. Judge signed the papers, made it official. Congratulations, the judge said. You're a family. Sky grinned. We've been a family. Now we're just legal. Outside the courthouse, photographers waited. But this time, Vincent didn't hide. He held Sky's hand. Carmen held the other. They walked out together. Mr. Hale, a reporter shouted. Any comment on the adoption? Vincent stopped, looked directly at the cameras. I found my daughter hiding in my pantry, eating scraps. Today, she has my name and my entire heart. That's all I have to say. They walked to the car. Sky looked up. Dad? He'd never heard that word before. It broke something open inside him. Yeah? I love you. I love you too, kiddo. Carmen smiled. They drove home. Together. Finally.